we are Anchor. You can support us with the Super Thanks button below.
Technology is changing every day. This change is also affecting warfare. Many war machines are now being built using artificial intelligence and advanced technological inventions, special military aircrafts, drones, tanks, and missile systems. But despite these advances, armies can suffer huge losses. Very interesting things have been happening in the Russian army in recent days. Bombs dropped from airplanes used by Russian soldiers have fallen on the Russian city of Belgorod. There is an extraordinary crisis in Russia. The Russian people are experiencing a major security crisis. Tension in the country has risen very high. What is the background of these events? How did warplanes with advanced technologies bomb Russian cities? What is happening in Russia? As Anka Daily News team, we did a quick investigation into all aspects of this event. The information our team uncovered will surprise you. Thanks to independent journalism, the hidden aspects of the war are being revealed. You can contribute to the development of independent journalism by supporting our team who worked hard to prepare this news. You can use the Super Thanks button below the video. Let's start if you're ready. Everything is changing in the war between Russia and Ukraine. None of the Russian army's war plans have worked. That's why the Russian army is trying to develop new war strategies, but the Ukrainian army continues to show a historic resistance against Russia. It is now common knowledge that the Russian army's ground forces cannot win a victory in Ukraine. Having lost a large number of tanks, the Russian army now wants to launch air operations. However, the first attempts of these operations caused a major crisis. It is known that one of the most effective aircraft of the Russian aerospace forces is the Su-34 special military aircraft. The Russian government claimed that it was the most powerful military aircraft in the world. However, this operation has revealed how irrational Russia's claims are. A Russian Su-34, a twin-engine fighter bomber, was assigned to bomb the Ukrainian army, but the bombs dropped from the plane fell on the city of Belgorod, 24 miles north of Ukraine. There was a huge panic in the city. There have been explosions in the Russian city of Belgorod since the beginning of the war. Extraordinary developments are taking place in the areas used by the Russian army in this city. An incident in January was one of the most important consequences of the problems in the city. A specialist surgeon serving in the unit in the Koroschansky district of the city of Belgorod threw a grenade to establish authority and caused the death of 3 Russian soldiers. In addition, 16 people were injured in this incident. This mistake of the Russian surgeon soon became known in the city. Moreover, since the beginning of the war, missile shells have often fallen on the city. Thousands of Russian citizens living in Belgorod started to leave the city. The bombs dropped from the Su-34 aircraft caused the crisis in the city to grow even more. Thousands of Russians tried to flee the city immediately after the bombing. After everyone set off, traffic was blocked and chaos ensued in the city. Meanwhile, the Russian people began to feel a great fear. After the incident became public knowledge, the Russian government made a statement. According to a statement from the Kremlin, the Su-34 planes had to urgently release the munitions they were carrying. The Russian fighter pilots released these bombs so that they would not fall on the city and kill hundreds of people. But for the Russian people, this explanation was not acceptable. First, it was never acceptable that the Su-34 planes had difficulty carrying bombs. The people of Belgorod are wondering why these planes drop bombs. A young man in Belgorod told the Russian press, "If this is an accident, those who caused the accident should resign." After this approach of the people of Belgorod, the reaction against Putin's government in Russia increased even more. However, some news in the Russian press claimed that the incident was not an accident. After these claims, the Russian people experienced a great shock. It is known that soldiers in the Russian army are subjected to racism and mobbing. Moreover, most of the soldiers serving in the Russian army do not want to invade Ukraine. This leads Russian soldiers to take extraordinary decisions. Since the beginning of the war, there have been many incidents of Russian soldiers damaging ammunition on many fronts. Many Russian soldiers are forced to fight. In addition, Russian commanders treat the soldiers very badly. Especially soldiers from Russia's minority peoples are constantly subjected to racism in the army. These soldiers hate their commanders. Allegations that Russian Air Force pilots deliberately dropped these bombs on the city of Belgorod are now the talk of the town in Russia. Following these allegations, the Russian Air Force has decided to suspend air operations. Anton Gerashchenko, advisor to the Ukrainian Interior Minister, tweeted about the issue. Gerashchenko said, "It seems the Russians have started a counteroffensive against themselves." This incident in the Russian army has turned into a major security crisis. It is said that these operations have been stopped in case Russian pilots attack the Kremlin. Putin is afraid that Russian soldiers will start a big revolt against him. It is claimed that the majority of Russia's soldiers hate Putin. However, Russian commanders are very strict on this issue and prevent anti-Putin Russian soldiers from organizing. It is thought that if Russian soldiers start to act together against Putin, Putin will not be able to do anything. Recently, tensions between Putin and Russian commanders have increased. Russian commanders may act together with rebel soldiers and stage a military coup against them. Russian commanders may act together with rebel soldiers and stage a military coup against Putin. Russian media reports say that there is no concrete evidence of a coup at the moment. However, the opinions of experts who research on Russia and this issue are very clear. According to experts, if the Russian army suffers more losses in Ukraine, Russian commanders may stage a coup against Putin. Russian security problems are increasing, raising the possibility of a military coup. After the bombs dropped in Belgorod, the Russian people are outraged against Putin. And the danger in Belgorod remains. There was another very interesting development in the city today. Belgorod Governor Vyacheslav Gladkov announced that another bomb has been found in the city. It was announced that one of the bombs dropped from the plane has not exploded yet. Houses around the bomb site were immediately evacuated. According to the governor, 3,000 people have been removed from the area. It was decided that this bomb would be destroyed in a controlled manner by explosives technicians and bomb disposal experts. The evacuated Russian citizens experienced a great panic. In Russia, such incidents are doing Putin a lot of damage. These problems in the Russian army are affecting the course of the war. The Ukrainian army is also carrying out very successful operations and inflicting a heavier defeat on the Russian army. What do you think about the bombs in Belgorod? Do you think these bombs were really dropped by Russian pilots? What do you think about these allegations in Russia? How do you think these events affect Putin? How do you think the crises in the Russian army are affecting the course of the war? Don't forget to share your opinions with us. Follow us for more updates.
All rights to these videos belong to Anka Daily News YouTube channel. Our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook usernames are @AnkaDailyNews. Do not rely on any other social media publications. We legally fight all websites and channels that use it without our permission.